Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have 3 cards to share with you, Happy Mail and birthday cards. Really fun, really simple to create. It's kind of a mini series and I'm using the Pick Time Fun stamp and die set for my favorite things, as well as the Pastures, Ponds and Pools stencil from my favorite things. I must admit that I created these cards quite early, as in a while back when I just received the new release for my favorite things, and so I immediately played with the stencil and this stamp set. I think these pigs are just adorable and they have this quite nice size. They are quite large but still really cute size wise, and so I decided to feature each one of them on a different card, creating clean and simple cards today using a stencil that can really help you draw the attention towards a specific area on your card. For me, if you are new to clean and simple or you find it really difficult, I think actually it's this way that it started for me. I took a stencil that limited the area on my card to fill up. So once you have a white panel and you have a bit of a pop of color in the center or anything like that by using a stencil, then you have just that tiny area to embellish with images or embellishments or sentiments. So that's what I'm doing here today. I am going to have 3 white panels. I will draw your attention to a specific area by stenciling a little bit. You can make that intricate or not. I will keep it really simple. And then just have a tiny area and then feature 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3, depending on the size of the images, just on there. Another thing to create several cards all at once without having to have a lot of time. Sometimes you're just lacking cards. Let that be clear. Every time that there is a birthday near, I'm freaking out because I don't have enough birthday cards. This really is a way that can make it really simple for you to create birthday cards as well. Just have a few images, have a specific color combination that you love. If you don't want to repeat the same image every time, look for a stamp set like this that has 3 of the same critters but in a different position, in a different kind of image, and then you can use that same combination all over. These seagulls as well, I'm just giving them the same combination, clean and simple as I would see them here in Belgium, just white with grey, and then of course the beak that has a bit of a pop of color. Now for the accent color here for the pigs, I decided to go with red. Again, you can change the combination every time for each one of the pigs, or you can, like me, keep it really simple and just create sort of a series of cards with the same colors, with the same idea, but every time a bit different in execution. So here again red, and this time I'm showing you everything because the shadowing is quite different, and it wasn't taking too much time neither, so therefore I'm just leaving it in. So originally, since the size of the pigs are quite nice and the stencils will go really well, I didn't thought of using these seagulls. I must admit, in real life I'm not really a fan of these birds. I'm not a fan of pigeons either. They are really unpredictable, and here in Belgium they have like this thing that they are invincible. So if you're near with a car or with your bike, they are not flying away. They are just not flying away. So I'm always hitting the brakes with whatever vehicle I'm driving, just because I'm just afraid that at once they will fly up right against me or anything like that, or well, I don't like it. They are unpredictable. But in this case, in this amazing stamp set from the Pick Time Fun, I thought these seagulls were so cute. If there were 3, I would have stamped all 3, but there are only 2, so I'm just going to make 1 card without any seagull in it. But that works fine as well. Now first I thought that I was going to use 1 sentiment. But after all the ink blending, I actually realized that there were 3 sentiments in this stamp set, so ideally I was going to use all 3 of them and just make 3 completely different cards but with all the same elements. So here for the areas, each time that I stenciled them, I made sure to cover those white areas around the shape that I was going to use, because sometimes you can just go a bit too far and then all of a sudden you have a line or an area that you stenciled without wanting to stencil it on that card panel. So I made sure to cover it all. And then I just added a bit of my favorite distress ink, Cracked Pistachio, all over the edge or all on the edge of the shape, and I just made it sure to let it fade out into that white again of the center of this area that I'm stenciling. But if you want to, you can do a gradient like I did for another card that I shared with the Hello Bluebird Color Challenge. You can do a gradient, you can do rainbow, you can use multiple colors, but as I said, I'm going to keep this really simple and really show the basics on how I started creating clean and simple cards. And I know, clean and simple, it's scary, there is a lot of white, but it's also by doing it a bit more that you will appreciate the white area and not have this urge to completely fill it up. On the other side, scene cards are gorgeous as well. So if you are just loving scene cards and you create scene cards, I can only say how this clean and simple card making process might be a bit easier if you want to try this out more and more. So, as I said, I realized there were 3 sentiments. I have 3 different pigs, I have 3 different shapes stenciled on my background. So it's all a bit different, but you can definitely see the link between all of the cards, the colors, the products used, the simplicity as well. And that's also something that I really like about this series that I created here. There are a few Happy Mail, a few birthday cards, really handy cards to have on hand. So I just stamped all of the sentiments out using the same ink as I use for my images. And then once that was stamped out, I adhered all of the images using a bit of thin foam squares to help me create a bit of dimension. And I'm just going to add them as I originally intended when I laid everything out. And you can keep it like this. This originally was my idea. I'm just going to leave it with the stenciled area, the image, the sentiment. But then I thought, well, with that pop of red, I immediately thought of my heart sprinkles that I have. I have several colors. I've been piling up my stash of heart sprinkles because I just love these embellishments. And so once I have everything adhered, I will actually add a few red heart sprinkles as well. You can also change that, use other embellishments. Use other embellishments on every card if you want to. You can use other colors of embellishments. But as I said, I'm just going back to the basics, repeating the colors. Just for coloring purposes, I use the same color combinations. And for the ink blending, I use my favorite distress ink. You can change all of that if you want to. But again, you don't need to. And that's the beauty about clean and simple. So even if I would remake these cards, I wouldn't make them as I did right now. I would definitely change up colors or change up that background, use another stencil if I needed to. But as you can see, it can still be clean and simple. And that's just fine. Also, the amount of embellishments, I just decided to change that up on every card. You can sort of keep it similar, but don't forget that every pig is positioned differently, so it will have an impact on where the embellishments work or not. And then the amount, well, that's just up to you, of course, what you like doing or not. So once I was happy with placement, I adhered all of them using some liquid glue. Really handy to have on hand is an embellishment wand. I've said it many times before. It's just really a time saver because in the beginning I also added embellishments with my fingers, and I know that it can work. It's sometimes a bit difficult to have it straight and all. It works, but truly once you have an embellishment wand or something similar, it's a life changer. It's heaven. So with all of the panels ready, I'm just going to add all of them on a card base. And then I have my 3 cards ready. You can add glossy accents if you want to, you can add glitter if you want to, many more possibilities of course. But again, it's up to you to add more or less depending on what you desire on creating. I just love how these 3 turned out. I love that this was my first experience with this amazing stencil from my favorite things that I truly adore. And I hope that you love these cards too, that you enjoyed this video, that I inspired you in any way. I want to thank you all for stopping by and taking the time to watch this video. I truly hope that you enjoyed it. I wish you all an incredible day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!